Hey everyone, I'm going to show you a technique called tip-to-tip transfer with your copic markers. So I have this image here that came from, it's a digi stamp that came from the paper shelter, which is one of my favorite places to get digi stamps. And I have two of them side by side. I just want to give you an idea. What you want to do is pick two different color from two different families. You can use it from the same family, lighter and a darker color, but it's kind of a neat contrast to get it from two different families. So I'm going to do a yellow and red tone color, and it will come out with an orange tone. So I'm going to go with a Y17, my Copic marker, and you're going to take a darker red one. I'm going to go with an R37 cap off. And what you're going to do is tip-to-tip transfer is just like it sounds. You're just going to actually take the red and you're going to tip it, touch the tip of the yellow, get it saturated pretty good. And then when I go on to the flower, you will see the red will come through first and then the yellow, and you have a nice contrast of the two colors. I'm not being picky right now about going out of the lines because this is just to give you an example of how this tip-to-tip transfer works. We can go back and fix our mistakes after. But if you can see that, which I hope you can, it has a very, it almost has a good color to make fire. It's got a lot of yellow and red and orange blended together. Let's try it with some different colors and see what we come up with. Oh, and also, just to show you how to clean, always keep a piece of scrap. I like expressive blending paper best. Keep scrap by, and to clean it, you just color until the red's gone, and the new ink will bleed through, cleaning your tip. That's it. And it will turn back to yellow. So no worries on that. You can do the same thing with your red one if you think, but the red isn't going to even have any yellow because it's so dark. Let's take a lighter tone. We're going to go with a BG10, and I'm going to go with a green, darker green tone. I'm going to go with a G29. Just whatever you have, do something similar. Be creative, use all your colors, play around with it. So I'm dabbing G29, the darker color, onto the lighter BG10, and we're going to do a leaf and see how that comes out. Got it saturated pretty good. Now I'm going to come over to this one because it actually has a nice. Let's see, some of the dark and light peeking through. Not as much of a contrast as the red and yellow one, but you can see it. It has a nice tone. This is a good way of blending your markers without going crazy trying to get the two colors together and blended. Like I'll show you in a second. And get this ink off. Suppose I was to do this stem, and I'm using my BG10, and now I'm going to use the G29. Now I want to try and blend them together. Again, I'm not worrying about going out of lines, just to show you. See how it's harder to have the start and stops with these two dramatic colors when you have one very dark and very light to work with. But when you do the tip-to-tip transfer, it has a really nice blending effect. And when you do it on your without doing the tip-to-tip, you can see the starts and stops very clearly, and it's much harder to work with. This is regular photocopy paper, so you're going to see a lot more bleeding with this paper anyway. Again, my favorite paper to work with is Express It blending paper. I like buying these small journals. the sketchbook ones. This is a 5x7. There is 50 sheets of 70-pound paper in this book, and they're just the perfect size to make cards or to sketch or make designs or practice or whatever. And what I do is I used to worry about keeping the book perfect and making these perfect pictures in here so I wouldn't ruin anything. And now I've decided I just buy them and rip the papers out and use them. And it's actually cheaper than buying a stack of paper, because I also will buy a stack of 25 sheets and then cut them. There's a lot of waste, and even when I use them, this is great because it's printer size, it's 8.5 by 11, and it's the expressive blending card, same exact paper that's in the sketchbooks, and it's great. I love this stuff, but it can get very expensive. So especially when you want a small piece of paper to work with, this is economically much better. It's $10 for the small book, 50 sheets. You could use both sides if you don't over ink, if you're practicing, whatever. Also, one of my favorite papers is the bleed proof marker pad copic paper. I like to use this underneath things when I'm working at things as my practice sheets, and I also use it for finished work, except that it's not very heavy. It's a very, very light paper, and but it's a really good paper as well to work with. So that is for our tip-to-tip transfer. You can visit my blog and get daily tips, and I also have my weekly giveaways, TGIAF. I like to give things away on Fridays, and all I ask is people to join my blog, and if I get 3 new bloggers every week, I give away a prize. So come join my blog, and hopefully you'll win something. I've given away Copic markers, Copic sketchbooks, Copic Sparch books, and homemade cards, and all kinds of things. So continue to watch, and we'll continue to update you with new techniques.